was very good staying neutral and making sure that you don't take any side there, because I'm always very bad at picking a prediction side as well. And I totally agree, both teams have the big chance here. And Excise wants to apply the pressure as early as possible, finds the first survivor on the outside on a relatively unsafe pallet, but somehow Sweetchild manages to drop the pallet and force the killer into breaking it. Excise now going to find himself on the edge map tile here, deep in the corrupted area, so the other 3 survivors will take the chance and go onto the generators here, but we already have the first injury pretty early into the game.
Yes, indeed, that injury did come quite early. It looks like Excise was able to find Sweetchild just very quickly off spawn there. We see he's chasing Feng around the villa here next to the bus. I guess Sweetchild will be hoping to make this chase last as long as possible, of course, as their teammates are progressing the generators. But there we have it, the first down. I think Excise will be very happy with that. That's come along pretty quickly, and possibly we have a pain resonance coming in as well.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to your first caster curse in DVD League, cutting down the chase time a little bit of Sweetchild here. Great first down for Excise, exactly what you are looking for at the beginning of the best of 3 here. You do get a couple of shocks there with your power as well. Bucky, Gustavo, Jason have been hit by the power multiple times already, potentially going into snapping out soon. We do have quite some pressure on the generator right next to us, and interesting enough, we do not see the pop goes the Weasel here. Instead, we are saying Pain Res will be enough. We are going with the agitation to pick the hooks and with the sloppy butcher, making it very painfully to go for the resets here. Gotta say though, so far, Excise is not spreading the pressure as aggressive as you would expect him when he brings the sloppy butcher in.
Yes, that's right. I'm not sure quite what we see the first generator popped. I'm not sure quite what his strategy is there. He does have 2 generators quite close by. I'm not sure if there's possibly he's trying to defend a 3-gen here with this generator next to the bus and the shack and the one in the corner there. But I think mainly, he's been camping Sweetchild into the second hook stage, and as we see the second generator pop. So I think he seems to be playing this corner of the map, as we see.
And he is still kind of staying around here, trying to find the potentially rotating survivor. He does hit the Claudette. She's immediately leaving here, so Sinner's really not taking any risk, rather sacrificing Sweetchild, but getting no injuries and taking the pressure into the generators here. 60% on a generator further away from the hook, 40% on the one Excise is trying to monitor here. So Sinner's also not going to be too afraid of Excise here, showing him very clearly, well, whenever you're moving a meter away, we're going to rotate in, progressing these generators, and then we are well communicating and we are going to leave very early. However, though, we are still on 3 generators, even though there is progress on the other side of the map. We are losing the first survivor, really going according to the game plan of Excise here. So I do feel like the killer, even though he might feel some pressure, is still pretty happy with this situation.
Yes, I think so. We do see the 3rd generator pop there, but I think it's a very good situation for Excise to already have a 3v1 at this point in the game. We see he is chasing Bucky down, and will he get the quick down on him? I think there's not... He's on the filler here. I think it looks like, yeah, he has got that down very quickly, which is great for Excise, and I think another pain res will be coming in, but we do see the 4th generator pop already, and the 5th one is nearly done, so I'm not sure whether... Okay, there we are. The pain resonance did hit that last generator. That's great progress.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried for our killer if he gets that in time, but luckily he did. And now he does gain a few seconds here. I'm not sure if he underestimates the pressure that is on the generator far away, or if he kind of accepts that the pressure of Sinners is so high that he rather looks for a survivor that hasn't accumulated any further hook stages yet, such as Gustavo or Jason here. He does find one of the survivors I just mentioned. Gustavo is a fresh hook, would be 3 additional stages in the endgame, and the endgame is relatively soon here as Sinners is constantly progressing that final generator. We will take a hit here, going to drop the pallet though to gain a little bit of additional distance and going going to hit Excise with that wood. Excise is rotating back towards the generator, is confident that he can defend it, and so far it seems like he will get away with that. Painrest here has made a huge deal for our survivors, and Gustavo being found once again after taking some distance. We do have a team member around, that is going to be Bucky, facing the injured effect now as well, but both now affected by Sloppy Butcher as well, so any reset towards the end game will take tremendously longer. Excise rotating back towards the generators. Gotta say, he finds the perfect balance right now between gen control and committing to the survivors.
Yes, this is some really nice gameplay. I was worried that they might pop that generator, but I think they opted to reset instead and play it a bit slower, but looks like it hasn't quite worked out in their favor, as all three survivors are injured now, and Excise is, as you say, pressuring the survivors and the generator very well. We see Lee Jackson here being chased using life, kind of trying to get away, I think, yeah, and we see Excise is not going to commit to that. He needs to keep checking on that generator.
Now the table seems to turn slowly. 3 injured survivors with Sloppy Butcher unable to go for a quick reset here. Great ones onto Jason here, making it impossible for him to drop the pallet maybe now, but he has to take a little bit longer, and that's going to end in a down. And see how crazy this is. We need to take a short moment to appreciate Excise gameplay here, what he's showing us onto the killer side. We had one generator on 90%, then yes, came the Painrest, but we were worried again that the final generator is going to pop, but he's managing to keep this final generator under control for 3 hook stages already. There's going to be the next injured survivor that needs to be very careful here. Will be interesting if Gustavo and Bucky are going for a full reset here, but considering you have the Sloppy Butcher, they might just try to smash through the final generator. We can only hope that they're not taking too much risk here.
Yes, as you mentioned, it's really incredible how fast things kind of turned around. That generator was so close to popping, and yet it's taken so long now. I think they're trying to pressure both the rescue and the generator, as we see, which is really nice gameplay for them. But I think Excise has shown a really nice use of his power as well, and we see that the Bucky there is kind of running quite far away from the hook, but Excise, I mean, he is aware of him. I'm not quite sure what they're playing for here. If they're hoping they can get that save, but it's not going to come in before the second stage. Looks like Excise is actually committing to Gustavo here, which is interesting, hoping that he can get him catch him on this relatively unsafe pallet. And we see the unhook has happened and the down has happened very quickly.
Yeah, something in my stomach doesn't feel right, and it's certainly not the dinner I had earlier. This is going to be the fact that the final generator hasn't popped yet, because we were so close to it, 90%, then comes the Painrest, but we were down to 70%, and we saw that Excise was not going to these 2 furthest generators. He was lurking around the shack zone for a while, tried to outsource the survivors here, so he did underestimate the value. Now, I don't know that if Sinners was scared that Excise could go for a quick rotation and therefore pulling away from the generator instead of finishing it, but considering what we have seen and the great pressure, it feels really, really wrong that the final generator has not been completed yet, and I feel like as longer this trial takes, that this was the one and only chance Excise would provide to Team Sinners here, and that it's now kind of running against the clock here. Very nice read onto the locker there. Luckily, Bucky can just jump out in time, outplaying our killer a little bit on the edge map tile here, and he has to rotate back towards the shack because the pressure is otherwise getting too high. Just coming back in time here, around about 75% on this final generator. 4th piston is not pumping just yet. Excise with great decision making so far, perfect balance between generator defense and commitment onto the survivors here, and as I mentioned, I feel like Sinners had a good chance, and now where they missed it, they really start to struggle.
Yeah, Sinners, they were just so close there with that generator that it is, as you say, it's quite strange to see now that they're just not quite able to get back to that same pressure they had. I mean, we see there Bucky is working on that generator, but Excise is of course rotating into him. I think Excise obviously is focusing on pressuring these generators, but he is hoping to catch someone out of position, and I think he just has caught Bucky out of position here, who will be going down in the edge map, but Excise opting to slug him to make sure that the survivors do not pop this last generator in the shack which they are stacking, but can he make it in on time?
That's the big question here. Is he going to make that? And the answer is no, he cannot, even though he is using the shock. But Jason is paying a high price for that, will go down onto the ground here. And that is leaving Gustavo as the final standing survivor. Now, even if Gustavo goes down and we do face a 4K, at least the win condition for Team Ariandel in the upcoming game will be an escape through the door here. So you still have the chance as a killer to pull something last second in the end game, play around the 3-gen setup and make sure that in worst case you can even go on the tie, but with an end game clutch here and repeat it with the Doctor on the Wrecker's Yard. So pushing it through all the generators and forcing the survivor team in the upcoming trial to take an escape is always really important. But yeah, I feel like Sinners could have achieved a little bit more. They will definitely need to use the break to get that out of their mind as well. So making sure that they are going to be happy with what they have achieved right here. Excise is going to try catch up onto Gustavo, just breaking these pallets here. And Gustavo, we have to say that, going on a quite impressive 1v1 run here.
Yes, quite a nice chaser in the end game from Gustavo. I mean, of course, there's no hope. He cannot escape, but you know, he's just been having a good run while he can, and there we have it. All 4 survivors are down. Quite frustrating for Sinners, but as you say, I think they need to take this time just to get that out the system. They fought really hard to get this 4K with all 5 generators popped, giving their killer a much better and easier win con.
Absolutely, yeah. Gustavo, Jason and Bucky here with a great run towards the end game. 5 generators have been achieved, putting at least a win condition up that Ariandel's survivors have to go for an escape here. We are collecting our meat pieces from the map. This is always the downside when you went on a little bit of a slugging here. But Excise definitely, congratulations, we have to say that, though. Very, very strong killer performance, can be very proud. I don't want to say no surprise because Excise is so known, because then I always feel like we don't value the killer performance enough. But he definitely lived up to his name, and all the experience that comes up when you hear the name Excise really has the reason here. Interesting to see would be if Bucky has already been hooked once, so potential bleed out won't make any difference here. Just as a quick rule excursus for everyone who's interested, if a survivor is bleeding out that has never been hooked before, then we give out the 3 hook stages, but not the fresh hook for the 3rd win condition. But if the survivor has been hooked before, then obviously the individual hook stage for win condition 3 has been gained, and then the survivor can just bleed out and it won't get into any punishment for the killer. So especially who didn't watch DBDL since last year, the punishment for a bleed out is way, way reduced compared to it. Veronica, maybe as a question to you while we are vibing with Bucky in this corner right behind the coffee machine or whatever it is. On the side of Sinners now, preparing on the killer side, you need to catch all the Ariandel survivors, not a single escape possible, and your perks are locked in. This is important to mention. Will you try something crazy, something risky, like spreading slugs from the beginning, or will you play just as normal and see if you can catch up to them?
That is a very good question, Diane. Of course, I do not have the answer, but personally, I think I'd go for it. I think I'd try something a bit different, take them by surprise, you know, actually do something unexpected, as that can often work in your favor when you do take them by surprise and go off, kind of divert from what they are expecting.
I mean, I really don't want to overhype it, but Sinners has shown so many amazing turnarounds in the past 2 weeks that I wouldn't even be surprised. It was always on the survivor side, but Maybe they have surprises like this on the killer side as well, and they just never showed it. And now in the second half of the Winter Circle, they're like, okay, let's swap it. Now it's time for our killer to make a big turn. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the rematch between Ariandel and Sinnes on the Doctor on the Wreckers Yard. We'll see you in a moment.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Sinnes vs Ariandel with Wee Doctor here on the Doctor. Sorry, Wee Jackson here on the Doctor on Wreckers Yard again. You see he's going quite aggressively into the map, already finding the first survivor kind of in the near the open generators. The chase is being taken here on the truck. I'm not sure if he's going to actually commit. Yeah, it looks like he is committing here to Bobo Zava. Already breaking that first pallet out of the way. Taking the chase here on the TNL Taiwan. It looks like Bobo Zava may have made a little bit of a mistake as he gets hit. Taking the chase into the corrupt zone. Of course, Wee Jason hoping to get the first down here very soon.
First down hopefully coming in as Jason has a lot of pressure here. He cannot allow any escape. And then we would only meet the tie condition, resetting it and playing the Doctor set again. Therefore, better getting it in here. We do see an interesting choice, Hex Ruin coming in clutch, but for that you really want to push the survivors off the active generators. And so far, we're chasing Mr. Bobozavre deep in the corrupted area that is now coming to an end as we do get the first down. But on the other hand, the first objective has already been completed. So Ariandel here not losing any time. We do carry him deeper into the Wreckers Yard edge, though, to make it a little bit harder for the survivors to go towards this unhook and potentially injuring any teammate that is going to come for a rescue. Not the worst region setup around the hook, not the best one, as well as one generator is really pulled towards that shack. Lori waiting here, running away as we do see the blast coming in, will still get hit here. Now Jason aware of the location of two survivors. Meanwhile, Bobozavre chilling on the hook here, but I feel like we need more pressure, because if we would just go on to camping Babbo, we will not have Hex Ruin coming in clutch here. Therefore, very understandable that the next target is Hardwell.
Yes, quite right. I think there we see the second generator popping already. I think Ariandel is showing some great pressure on the generators. We see they are going in for the save, but I think, yeah, it looks like they decided not, Excise decided not to go in for it, as it would have been a trade. I guess they decided it's not worth it. Yeah, it is hard when you're hooked right there in the corner or in the edge of Wreckers Yard. It is quite hard to get to, and it looks like Wee Jason has deciding to pressure now this hook until he gets to the second stage, which he has, and now he will probably go back to the generators to try and get some ruin value.
Now going to rotate back towards our Lori here. She has been the target before, but still healthy. Needs to find a down and an injury here. Babbo still hanging onto the hook there. I doubt that they will sacrifice him, especially with Hardwell calling out that he is in chase. Therefore, one survivor going to circle around to catch Babbo and the other one staying onto the generators. Quick shock there towards the Hex Ruin to prevent any survivor from cleansing it, but this also means that the survivor team is now aware of Hex Ruin's location. So if it ever gets tricky with the Hex Ruin, they now know where they have to go for. Claudette dropping the pallet quite early, but this was maybe a little bit too optimistic. That's going to be a quick down onto Babbo. Lori, unfortunately, not able to take it down as well. Therefore, quick elimination as well. Feels like the previous game, so we are kinda on track.
Yes, the elimination has come in at 3 generators remaining, which is what happened in the last match. But then we did have that third generator pop, and the same thing is happening again. Kind of, we are seeing. I'm having a bit of deja vu. We see Hardwell is being chased around the shack, which is not a great place to go down. As we mentioned, he does not want to end up in that basement, but Wee Jason is not committing to the chase here, and I think he's going to go and check on those generators.
A little bit of checking by Jason, and while going back towards the generators, I thought he's going to target Hardwell again, but realizes that Hardwell is not going towards the location he really wants him in. We are kinda on this broken truck here, far away from the beautiful 3-gen. This gen down there, you can completely give up on, because this one is nothing you can defend here realistically. You would need to go way out of your way to defend that generator. Therefore, we're going to try working with the generator setup we have here, and I feel like this shock came in last second as Arima was ready to complete this generator down here at the Fun Bus. Now Jason needs to be careful that no one is sneaking into the back and secretly completing this generator, but so far it doesn't seem like anyone is going to do that, as Excise is going to find the reset in the distance. Therefore the survivors are a little bit busy right now, holding W here away, making sure that as much time as possible is wasted, but Arima is finding nothing else than the comp corner. Will be interesting if they get the Fun Bus done though.
Yes, it will be indeed. I think I believe that he still has a pain resonance on Arima, but I don't think that was used there, was it? So I see we see Laurie here as kind of the top of the map, so I'm not sure what kind of pressure they have on that generator, and I think that Laurie has just been found. So yeah, it looks like the pressure on those generators is not quite where you need it really. I think perhaps the chases was that Excise I just saw? I'm not quite sure myself, but I think that this is a difficult situation for Jason, because the hook is so far away from his 3-gen, so he's kind of going back and forth, not really able to commit anywhere.
Yeah, Jason is trying the impossible here, spreading the pressure of hooks and gens across the entirety of the Wrecker's Yard, and there comes the punishment. We really beautifully saw it here. The hook is on the east side, the chase is on the northern side, and the generator is trying to defend us all the way southwest. This Jason is not going to work, and he paid the price for that. Excise has completed that generator. However, Arima is going into second stage, as they were sacrificing one stage for the generator here. Jason wants to rotate back to prevent the unhook, but will come too late here. I feel like that Jason has a lot of ideas of what he has to do in terms of defending the gen, defending the hook, going back to the hook, denying the unhook, but I feel like he has so many ideas that he doesn't pick one singular game plan out and commits to it. Instead, he's trying to defend all possible solutions and all possible options he has, and by doing so, he's losing it entirely.
Yes, I think you're quite right. I was a bit confused there earlier, trying to figure out what his plan was. I see him looking here, going there, going back to the hook, going to the generator, and I was... Yeah, I think you're quite right there. He had a lot on his mind, but Ariandel have broken the 3-gen. But they are down to a 2v1 now at one generator remaining, so it's looking a bit tough really for them as well. There's not really much pressure here on the generators, but they are very well spread apart, so will they be able to pull this off?
Yeah, I think a further spread of generators has never been defended before in the history of Wrecker's Yard games, but Laurie has been caught out in a difficult position. She is injured, and with SA to Russia, that's going to be a hit into the back. There's nothing that Hardwell can do. The question is now, will the final generator get done? Do we have to replay it on the Doctor on the Wrecker's Yard? Will Sinners finish it right here? In this case, they will take the win. Or will we see an out or any last second move here by Team Ariandel? That's the options right now. Hardwell is going to be picked up, because what you have downed, you really want to take the hook stages from that to make sure that you're progressing towards your win condition. Hook stage number 7 it's going to be, and Excise still hiding there. He was hiding in the open. Needs to be careful though with the static blast on the Doctor. Didn't quite see if there's anything that comes with. No, there's not. So he might want to consider going into a lock or something, because being found like this might end this best of 3 relatively quickly. And there we are, Sinners once again with an absolute unexpected turnaround.
Yes, I think it has played out a bit like we said, perhaps. I mean, looks like we didn't really understand what Jason's plan was here, but it seems to have worked out really well for him actually. As it looks like this is going to be a 4K1. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon, but realistically, there's not really much that Xeyes can do here. I don't think he can really make the hatch or anything like that.
Sure, that's going to be Xeyes on the final run here. Nice fake attempt there by using the pallet, but that's going to be it. Xeyes on the ground, Hartwell on the hook. No deliverance, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. If you still do not have Sinners on your list of dangerous teams in the winter circuit because you underestimate them, well, then it's time to write Sinners on their right now, because they are playing against kind of the core roster of Eternal, against very known and strong players. They haven't been in DBD League for almost 2 years because we didn't host for South America, and here they are, exactly what Veronica and me talked about in the campfire chat. They are able to make some surprises here, and they are coming out. Now, they are going to ride a wave of motivation. Ariandel will stay on the survivor side on the same map, just a different killer. Do you think, what do you think is the most important task now for the survivors of Ariandel in their 4 minutes break?
I think they're gonna need to get over this. You know, this didn't play out how they wanted to. They broke this 3-gen, but yet they weren't able to then do the final gen. So I think, you know, they're really gonna have to play for some escapes.
That sounds like a good strategy for the team. Let's see if they can execute the game plan on the survivor side all the way into the end game. We will find out, ladies and gentlemen, after a short break. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wesker set, and we are, surprise, on the Wrecker's Yard. We are just exchanging the killer, and everything else stays the same. Let's see how they are going to play this rematch on the Wrecker's Yard. That's going to be quick chase for Babu once again. Veronica, you used the wording, we have a deja vu. I have one very much right now, because it's the exact same killer with the same survivor in the first chase. Let's see who's staying alive longer.
Yes, we will have to see, and we do have that Babu Zava getting thrown there. Taking the chase here into the top of the map, kind of the top edge, but he is on this kind of relatively unsafe field, and looks like he is able to rotate, but I don't think he can get very far, and there we have it, the first down already. I see the killer does have this pain res, so I'm sure he will be hoping to stop the first generator from popping with this first hook.
Now we are going to see it in time, that's for sure. Painress going to come in clutch. This time we do see a pop goes the Weasel, actually. So Sin is now coming in with a little bit of a different strategy, not going to use the Hex Ruin anymore. Maybe because they realized last game that the pressure across the individual survivors on the generators won't work, since Ariandel is so efficient and so strong here. Because keep in mind, we do have to lock the survivor and the killer perks, but only before each individual set. So they can take the experience they made out of the Doctor set and put it into their builds for the Mastermind. And I wonder if the switch from the Ruin towards the Pop Goes the Weasel actually happened because he realized that Ariandel is a little bit too strong on being efficient on the generators, and not allowing the spread pressure will be something we might have to find out later by asking them directly. But we do see a couple of generators being progressed here, 75% and 2 times 50%, which makes me feeling very optimistic about this camping being punished successfully.
Yes, we see Jason was camping Babu Zava there into the second hook state, but he has left now and he is going to go back to those generators. But he's not quite committing there, a bit unsure there, making sure no one's getting the unhook, but that is giving the survivors more time to keep pressuring them. He has found a Rima here with that highly progressed generator. I think he probably used his pop on that. And he's going back to the hook. And we see the first generator pop, so yeah, a lot of things going on.
And I feel like Ariandel has also learned a little bit from the previous trial, because they are really expecting Jason to go for this camp here. They are not even pulling any attempt. They are very... Oh, actually I spoke too soon. They are going to come in. Exa is going to be smashed into the wall, but now I do feel like he's going to make that. Not entirely sure if body blocking wasn't the better option there, because by going for the smash into the wall, he allowed Exa to struggle free from the killer's grasp and go for the 1v1, and there's a For the People as well, making sure that Jason will not even be left with a slug here. Bubasavro with a wonderful dodge as well, going on to a run here onto this filler pallet. Will he be able to stay alive even with this high ping from South America to Russia? He's able to read the killer correctly and going to vault in time. Unfortunately, it's going to be a quick down, and just like last time, Hardwell is coming too late. Bubasavro is getting shit up by the teammate on top, getting blind here. It's getting a little bit chaotic here. Hardwell was saying, well, if you get down, well, then better being on the hook as well. But that was kind of impressive run here by Ariandel, going for the last second, 1-for-1, then saving the slugged survivor with the For the People, and then unfortunately didn't work. But from the idea, throwing someone in while completing the 4th generator, Ariandel definitely much more confident and much more on track than in the previous trial.
Yes, quite right. I mean, that was very chaotic there. They really got that save just at the last second, but we see the first kill there at only 1 generator remaining, which is really good for Ariandel. We see Excise here is going to be hooked. I'm not sure quite how much pressure they have on that final generator. Perhaps they're opting to reset instead, but this looks like they can really come back from this.
They really can, especially when they do not allow a quick second down right here. Arima is going for a reset. Hardwell is at least hiding properly, even though Jason is close by. 50-50, left or right. Jason decides to go back towards the midsection here. So Hardwell winning the hide and seek. Problem is that no one is working on the generator, so Excise is kind of progressing towards the second stage for free at the moment. The killer doesn't face any punishment for it. No generator is being progressed, nothing else is being completed in terms of the objective. So I do feel like Excise will just find himself camped into the second stage, and then we can only hope that Ariandel survivors are hopping quickly onto the generators to get done their work, because if they waste too much time, then Jason will actually profit here.
Yes, I think we see Jason here had a feeling that one of the survivors was in this area of the map, and he has gone there to look for them, and of course he found Hardwell, but he is not committing. Instead, he is checking on those generators. We see this one is the one that Arima was working on, but of course wasn't able to get much progress. I wonder if Hardwell will be going for the save now. Yeah, there we have it. We have the save on Excise, and I think this will take Jason away into this corner of the map. Hopefully Arima is able to get some more progress, but he is already onto Hardwell and already got that down. And we see the eruption coming in on that generator as well.
Always kind of rude how the Mastermind is interrupting the casting there with his voice lines, but that's going to be hook stage number 6 coming out now. Excise still going to stay injured, so we can tell that he's working on a generator. Arima being healthy, so he has a lot of time here as well. Let's see how they are going to play this out. Will Hardwell be rescued immediately? Excise very likely going to find a spray at least before he's going for a full reset, but even without being fully healthy, the hindered effect is very much annoying there, and Arima unfortunately being located while being on the way towards the unhook. The live play is coming out, going to vault over the pallet. Jason expected that, therefore going to be on the survivor, and that's going to be a very difficult setup now. We do have the hooked survivor right next to it, the slug, and we worded one condition. We said Ariandel will be in a great spot if everything from now is going great, and Veronica, this is the opposite of things going great.
Yes, this is really not what Ariandel would have been hoping for. It looks like they're kind of ending up in a similar situation to the last game. Where we can appreciate Exercise being chased. I think we can appreciate that. You know, it is a bit difficult playing with the Europe or Russia to South America ping. Perhaps that caught them off guard a bit. But yeah, it looks like there's not really much that Exercise can do. He does get the save, but you know, still, then they're not realistically going to be able to pop that last generator here.
Mastermind going to go for the next hook stage, making sure that the individual survivors are all hooked, not that Rima is going to be down. And welcome Hartwell, welcome to Jason's shack. We are congratulating you on making this quick. 9th hook stage, I think he wasn't expecting that, therefore we are going to finish it off very nicely here with the 4K, and this time even stronger. Sinners is growing over their own performance here. Last trial against Ariandel's Survivor has been 1 generator remaining, but now we have it even quicker and even more confident. We do not even have a potential last generator being about to pop, so we, Jason, going for the same result, but a little bit more confident. At least that was on top. The famous Sherry on the top there means that Ariandel is now going to be under pressure. Their Mastermind needs to play out of their mind. It needs to be stronger than everything we can potentially expect here. Veronica, my question to you again. As Ariandel's killer, how do you feel right now going into this next trial with so much pressure?
Welcome back, everyone, to the Wrecker's Yard with Ariandel versus Sinners. We have Bobozava here on the Mastermind. Looks like he's found the first survivor here in the corrupt area of the map. We of course know it's a very difficult win condition, so he's really going to want to make this first chase as fast as possible, which of course is always the aim, but we have the first hit and he really needs to get this down, I think, as soon as possible here. Like the chase is going kind of towards the open generator here. We have this pallet gem here. Can we see Sweet Child? There we have a bit of a mind game there. The first down. I think this is really good for Bobozava. A nice time.
Absolutely, this is exactly what you're looking for in the early game, making sure that the first hook stage is coming out. We do not even have 50% on the first generator yet. Gustavo, Jason and Bucky still busy spreading across the generators in the first place here, so that's going to be quite some time loss on the survivor side here. Bubble really being too fast for them. We also see a different approach on the killer perks here. We do have a brutal strength, removing the pallets from the Wrecker's Yard even sooner and even faster, making sure that Wrecker's Yard slowly but steady turning into an absolute dead zone here. Bobozava just saying hello to the survivor, then pulling back, making sure that there's a little bit of pressure, short time loss on the survivor side, and we can tell that the pressure is high with the win condition being a 4K on 2 remaining generators here, because he does not secure any stages at all. He is straight going off towards the next chase.
Yes, Bobozava really needs to play this very aggressively to meet that win condition, and we see he is. He's pressuring survivors already, even chasing Sweet Child again for the funnel out. We see a bit of a, it's like a delayed hit, but we do get that, sorry, borrowed time, not borrowed time, I forget what it's called, but anyway, we get that endurance effect from the hook, but it wasn't enough. He gets the down again very quickly, but we see the decisive strike coming into play. This is not great for Bobozava. You see he is in shack, so I'm not sure how much more Sweet Child can do, but it looks like Bobozava deciding, I thought he was not going to commit, but he is committing here, hoping to get this down again very quickly. And we see a bit of a, oh, I think he's going to get that down now as we see the first generator pop.
And that's going to be 1 exchange between 1 generator, 2 generators and the second hook stage. So kinda the 1-1 principle here. We are going to award 1 hook stage to Babbo and in exchange 1 generator to Sinners. There's only one problem. If we do keep going through this trial like that, Bubo is not going to meet the win condition at all, as Sinners is way too fast here. What we need is a quick down, potentially a snug, and then spreading the pressure. That is very, very needed here.
Yeah, we see a very nice gen pressure from Sinners there. Already that generator was very highly progressed, so this is a bit worrying for Babozava. He really wants to stop that generator, and he is. I don't think he's not quite going to commit to the chase there on Gustavo. Instead, he's really trying to pressure the hook and the generators, I think, and we see a bit of a. He's just, yeah. I mean, he's gonna try body block this, I think, and throw Gustavo away there. We see as someone else has rotated him for the save. Really a lot of things going on, but I wonder if that Lucky there is working on that generator we saw highly progressed. The chase is being taken away from it.
Now going to rotate around this very dangerous tile right here. It's a lot of mind gaming that's required, and Sweetchild is getting outplayed. That was not even a ping hit, I would argue. That was really Babozava making the better read here on this tile and reading or anticipating that the survivor would rotate around to catch the pallet. That's going to be 3rd hook stage on the Sweetchild. Elimination coming through, but we need a 4K right now, right here, to go for the win. 1 more gen would be a replay on the Rackers Yard if he gets the 4K on the gen remaining, and if Sinners is getting all the generators done, they would come out as the winner here. Unexpected winner, I would say, because a lot of people will favor Ariandel in this set. Veronica, it often sounds so easy when we say getting all the generators done. I feel like the 3 survivors against such a strong killer, as he just proved once again, it can be very difficult.
I think it is easier said than done. I mean, you can make plans, you can, figure out we're gonna pressure these gens, but you don't know what the killer's gonna do, and Babozava is a very strong killer here, and we are seeing a great performance from him. So it is very difficult for these survivors. We see it's a bit of a strange, I'm not sure what that was a bit of a strange mind game there, but he does get the hit onto Gustavo, but I'm a bit afraid he is going away from the generators here. I think Gustavo, of course, hoping just to waste as much time as possible here on this just pile of junk, really. Yeah, we see, and actually it does have a greeting that pallet there. Actually, quite a nice chase here, but just as I said, it's over.
Yeah, that was another caster curse there. You're collecting them, but don't worry, it's going to happen way more often when going to comment over games. But Gustavo really, unfortunately, not able to stay longer. You mentioned it. He kinda was able to pull the killer far away from the generators. They were progressing here, so that was a really good move, but unfortunately we do not see any outcome of it yet. If we would at least get the 4th generator, then Sinners would be in a position where they can say, well, if everything is going wrong now, at least we do not hand over the set point to Ariandel. At least we can go for a rematch here. But Claudette also just holding W away from the hook. Not entirely sure if I agree with that decision making, because now we will be in the exact same situation as before, but the 4th generator is completed. So even if everything is going downhill right now, we will have a tie and we will replay the Mastermind on the Rackers Yard.
Yes, it looks like we are going to be back again on the Rackers Yard by the looks of it. I mean, yeah, this is going to be a 4K1, so we're gonna be back here again. A lot of games on the Rackers Yard. Very well played from both sides, actually. Babozava giving a great killer performance, but the survivors from Sinner's side really keeping up that gen pressure as best as they can. A really great match, I feel.
Absolutely, and it shows how close these teams are together. None of them wants to take the loss here in the lower bracket. None of them wants to leave the winter circuit. So we are running it back, ladies and gentlemen. This time it's going to be Ariandel starting on Killer, so Bubozavre very likely just going to stay there. Teams have a chance to switch their builds as long as they are locking them in once again. We will, in the background, we will prepare it. But we have to say, maybe for the statistic enjoyers, 4K on one remaining generator is actually the most often happening win tie condition in DBD League. It's not 4K all gens done, it's nothing else, it is always 4K one gen standing, but for a long time it was always the ghost phase on Larry's who always had a tie with 4K one gen remaining. This time it's going to be the Mastermind on the Wreckers Yard. Ladies and gentlemen, we will run it back in a moment. Before that, let's say real quick, Veronica, I feel like this tiebreaker could go into favor of Ariandel because Bubozavre playing again, he can be proud of this performance, and playing straight again will maybe work out for him.
Yes, I think he can keep the momentum up and kind of, seen now how survivors of Sinus play. Hopefully he can use that to his advantage, but he has to, of course, not get jaded because he has been playing on this map for so long now, but I'm sure if he can just keep that up, it could go very well for him.
Welcome in everyone to the Mastermind on the Wreckers Yard. I feel like we heard that before, and you are right, because we need a tiebreaker before a potential tiebreaker, because they have the absolute same win conditions as they both got 4K'd on one generator remaining here. Both teams were allowed to adjust Killer and Survivor builds as long as they are locking it in again, and we will see that we find different Survivor perks on the side of Sinners, and we also have different Killer perks on Bubozavre, also a switch on the add-ons as well, making sure that we have a little bit of a more aggressive playstyle right here. We're catching Cade, I would say, as quick as in the previous trial, working around the fun bus here, a little bit of back and forth. Sweetshot actually going to reach the pallet in time, and Bubble with this ping not going to joke around, just holding W around the rock, getting a very early down, and I feel like this is exactly how the other game of Bubozavre started.
This is, we are seeing a lot of repeats, because I believe every game we've seen Sweetchild be chased first. And we are seeing the hook come in now at 5 generators again, hoping to get that pain res again. So a lot of repeats here, but I think he will want to not repeat the end result. Of course, hoping for a better win condition. He's going to check on these generators. I'm not quite sure how much pressure we have. We did see that pain res come in. He has popped the gen and he is going back, and we see a first generator about to pop, but it looks like Bubozavre is in the area, so he may be able to prevent that from happening quite so quickly. Or he goes back to the hook. We get that endurance effect again, and we see the first generator pop. A lot going on at once.
Absolutely, but even a little bit of chaos, I would say, on the Survivors side of Team Sinners here. They are going to, first of all, they had a miscalculation there on the heal, and now they need to make sure that Cade is staying alive. Jason is coming in. He was playing the Mastermind before, did a very good and strong performance there, so bringing in the necessary experience here to counter Babbo, and they are playing this car here really, really well. Jason now getting grabbed, Cade immediately going to use this window of opportunity, but we see the hindered status effect. The Survivor slowed down here because they are fully infected from the Mastermind, so better finding a spray, but before that they need to get into safety here. Will we see a third teammate coming in? That would be the interesting question right here. Dropping the pallet early, trying to stay as safe as possible, but Bubozavre ending it relatively quickly. Second hook stage for the second generator. We had that before as well. Not going to hook onto the basement here, as it seems like we want to go for the pain res.
Yes, I thought we might see some basement hooks coming into play, but it looks like he is actually... Well, I'm not sure if that was actually a pain res there, but it looks like he wanted to hook in that area of the map anyway. We see, I think someone's spraying over there. What? I'm not. I think he thinks someone must be in that area of the map, because I don't really see another reason for going over there. Oh, and yeah, it looks like Bucky was there, and he has caught Bucky now. I think this would be a fresh hook for him, so he is going to want to get this down very quickly. I'm not sure if he can actually commit. No, he is going back to the unhook, as we see the third generator pop.
It was a very nice attempt there by Bucky, faking the window and then going for the 360 there. Unfortunately, Mastermind coming out with a second dash right after, and Babu then getting the injury eventually. They are on 2 generators and about to lose a team member. Therefore, Sweet Child coming in, but Bubuzavre going to throw him away, and that's going to be far away from the hook. And we can see Gustavo not even trying to run back as he realizes that this is not going to be enough time. Great hook defense by Babu here, throwing the survivor away to gain the necessary seconds to execute this first survivor here. 3 versus 1 reset location being found as well. Luckily, Jason just in time, hugging tight around the corner here, making sure that he won't be grabbed, going back towards the shack here. That's going to be the dash over the window. Very good chase time so far, especially when we consider that there are not so many resources left anymore. But ultimately, this run will come to an end. We do see the survivors teaming up in the distance on 1 generator, so potentially they are planning to get this one out of the way to spread the generator setup a little bit further. But next hook stage already coming in. Babu will hear the generator close by, so potentially the next chase is coming out very soon.
Yes, I think he did get that killer instinct there, as we saw. So he is aware of at least one of the survivors, and it looks like he has, I think, become aware of Gustavo in the shack. He is. Oh, actually, he's going back to the unhook, hoping to tunnel out Wee Jason, who is going to the corner of the map. But even if he wastes a bit of time here, I don't know if it will be enough to get that 4th generator done.
And that 4th generator would be so important, because if you get 4 done, well, then at least we've seen it. You can do something towards, or you can do something with a 3-gen setup, and then you can make sure that you achieve something. But if you would go on this win condition, if this would be the 4K right here, then the survivor team is actually able to ignore any potential 3-gen setup in the upcoming trial there. So therefore, this would really not be what Sinners is looking for. They hopefully get that 4th generator out of the way. Unfortunately, when we are looking onto it, all these pain res hooks and all these consistent pressuring chases have been too much. We only have 1 generator on 50% so far. That doesn't look too good on the side of Sinners here, and we can only hope that they have a long chase now in the mid game, somehow getting some wiggle room here, but Bubuzavre also catching the unhooking survivor in a good timing, therefore more injuries being spread.
Yes, this is really well played by Bubuzavre. He is really keeping the pressure up, and Sinners are finding it really hard to get that same result they got in the last game for the 4K1. We see they are, I think, deciding to work on some different generators, of course, split the pressure, but Bubuzavre is going to keep on pressuring them. And it is a 3v1, so potentially if we have one good chase, they will be able to get some really nice pressure and finish last generator. And we do see Bucky here being chased on this villa, but it is unsafe. But we see the life coming in. But I think, oh, what a nice juke then. We see that 4th generator has popped. This is really great for Sinners.
Yeah, this is what we love to see, a little bit of edge map juking, getting a few necessary seconds onto the survivor team, making sure that the 4th generator is coming out here. Now, at least your killer has the chance to force them into a 3-gen setup and play around that. We even saw that the final generator has something around the 50% mark here, but it is unfortunately a pain res once again, so a little bit of progress and regression coming in here onto these generators. Babbo now with the tricky decision. Will you go all the way down towards the generator? We see they're only 10% so far on the Fun Bus, or will you guard the hook stage? Babbo is trying to find a little bit of a middle ground here, keeping a good eye on the gens, and considering that this is somewhat of a defendable 3-gen, I feel like Babbo is feeling quite confident right now, especially with catching Gustavo now.
Yes, he did, I think, really get exactly what he wanted there. He managed to catch Gustavo kind of, you know, up, and we see a nice juke there from Gustavo, buying himself a lot of distance, able to get back into the tile. Not great for Babozava, but he can probably catch up pretty quickly, as this is the safest of tiles, and there we have it. He does get the down, as we see the other survivors have reset now.
Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one for Sinners here. They found the reset. They are both healthy. Jason and Bucky can spread. They could potentially go on to generator aggression here because Gustavo has 2 minutes of hanging time. The only question is, will they be able to go on a little bit of a run? And will they be able to make sure that there's not going to be the constant pressure from Babozava onto the generators? They have pulled back though, and with that, pop goes to Weasel. This generator progress down here on the Fun Bus is also going to be neglected and put down towards 0. We do see a quick heal. We will make it come in clutch there. Bucky going to move away as Babozava is coming in. I'm not sure if he located him there, but it doesn't seem like so. So far, the Survivor is going to stay safe here on the side of Sinners. They can kind of restructure, discuss how they want to attack the generators, and then go for it. And I feel like this short silence on the Survivor side you can take to discuss a new game plan is really what Sinners needed in this moment.
Yes, I agree. We do see, unfortunately, that killer instinct coming in, but I mean, this is a hard situation. Of course, they're going to try and get the killer away into this area of the map, but we saw that. Oh, and it looks like he has just found someone else, in fact, so he knows that at least 2 of them have been in that side of the map, and as one of them, Gustavo, tries to cross into the generators, Babozava chases him. This is really difficult. We saw all the generators kind of fully regress from what I saw. They all went back down to pretty much 0, so this is going to be really, really hard for Sinners. You see Bucky now being chased, so Babozava has really good control here of the map. He knows where all of the survivors are. He is just pressuring them away from the generators, and he does have that pretty good 3-gen.
Yeah, the pretty good 3-gen together with the perfect balance Babbo finds here between committing to the survivors, applying pressure, and then rotating back and going for the defense. This is really what makes it so strong here. Great double dash here into Gustavo's back as well. It's going to be a quick injury and an instant spray though, but that's going to cost some time once again until Gustavo is ready to attack the generators again. Keep in mind, everyone, we have the new update, so killers can kick generators only 8 times. After that, there's not going to be any regression anymore, and Painrest already counted towards these regression events. So very soon, Babbo will not be able to go into any gen regression anymore, but he might finish it in time. Very nice patience being proven here. Once again, going to let Bucky vault multiple times, and only when he's 100% sure to get the down, then he's going to strike onto them. Really showing off all his experience and all the patience here. But they actually unexpectedly get it done. 2 people must have been working on the Fun Bus generator. One of them is Jason. Really, really well done here, breaking through that pressure from Babozava. Veronica, I don't want to underestimate Sinners here, but I really felt like that came out of nowhere.
No, that took me entirely by surprise, because when we last saw that generator, it had such little progress, and we kind of, you know, we saw one person working on it. We've seen this hook going on, but yeah, as you say, they must have just stacked that. And I was really surprised. What nice gameplay from Sinners there.
Claudette being thrown into the chest. I would have laughed if they make an animation that if you throw the survivor into the chest, just getting closed and then the survivor is trapped in there. Come on, Babbo, a few additional blood points towards the end. Not going to happen. There's no blood hunt at the moment. He doesn't think it's necessary. But well done! That is such a good finisher here. That is going to be 9 stages across all 4 survivors, though. That is definitely going to be much, much harder for the survivor side of Ariandel now, which we are going to see in the upcoming trial after the break.
Welcome back, everyone, yet again for Ariandel versus Sinners on the Wrecker's Yard. We see Jason here again on the mastermind. I've noticed he has a bit of an unlucky corrupt split there, with the 2 generators on one side and the other far off on the other side, which isn't great for him. He, this is a bit unfortunate here. You see, it looks like he has found someone or looking for someone stealthing. Yeah, I think he must have found the Hardwell here around the bus, who is taking the chase into the most corrupt area of the map. No, actually, he's on Excise now, and a bit of a unfortunate meeting there at the pallet. No one, Excise was not able to drop it. He is playing here on this pallet gem. Jason hoping for the fast down, but Excise is taking him further into this area of the map. But as this pallet is broken, does he have any other resources? And he looks like he's able to juke that dash a bit, hoping to get to this last pallet. I don't think he can quite make it there, and now we have the first down. I think Jason's going to be pretty happy, but those survivors are going to be keeping the pressure up, as we see. Very nice progress on that bomb generator, but there is pain res. No pain res, so essentially they can finish this.
Yeah, that might be painful. That pain res hook was not available. Is it going to be enough? No, the answer is no. Babozavre is going to take an injury though, but the first generator is going to be completed, and that's going to be a huge step for them. Was a little bit worried when Excise took the first injury so early, because especially when you are going to play a tiebreaker and potentially also going to be eliminated from the tournament, you really want the first chase to go well, and the first hit was very unlucky, but then Excise was going on quite a good run here, ensuring that the first generator is going to come out. Therefore, we just see a couple of pallets being broken, and Jason sticking to his strategy, in opposite to Babbo, camping way more aggressively, ensuring the first elimination. But I feel like that Ariandel is understanding that. They already did that in the previous trial. They're smashing the gens as a punishment. So I really hope that Jason is also able to adjust a little bit and apply more pressure on them.
Yeah, we will have to see how it worked out. I mean, we were a bit unsure on the start, but Jason's strategy has actually worked out quite well so far from what we've seen. Looks like this area of the map is pretty much a dead zone, so I think the survivors are trying to get away if they want to make the chase start. Excise here being chased. We did see the FCP come into play, but he's already been injured, so I'm not sure quite how much longer he can last. He's going to drop the Shack generator, but Jason is really hoping to get Excise as we see the second generator pop. We do have some nice filler pallets here leading into the window, so potentially Excise can have quite a nice run, but will it be enough to get another generator done?
Performance in
that's going to be a very short game for Excise, it seems like. But before we are going for the elimination, Jason is trying to at least tackle this survivor here as well. That's going to be a rush on to Babbo, but that's going to be a very good and successful pallet drop. Quick minus 5% onto the generator right here, and then we are going back onto Excise, who has made a little bit of distance, at least being there onto this tile. Jason making sure that no one can go onto the generator just yet, and that would be it for Excise. I do feel like this should be the pain res, otherwise there's no reason to go that far away onto the outside of the map. Yeah, that's going to be the pain res here, kicking in, going for the regression. Pop goes to Weasel in the back pocket as well, in case the survivors are touching any additional objective here. Not caring about the generator in the back, very understandable here, because this generator setup we have on this left side of the Wrecker's Yard looks really beautiful to defend.
Yeah, so it looks like he does have a nice setup here, and he opted to just focus on this and use his pop on that faraway generator there, because it is hard to get to, so I think he was just hoping to aggress it as much as possible. Looks like he has found Bubba here on the shack, but I'm not sure if he's going to commit. No, he opts to kick the generator and go back to his nice setup here. I think even potentially a slight 4-gen.
Yeah, what's the perfect strategy now when you are with the back against the wall, when you're trying to get something done here? I mean, on the paper we just have 3 stages in elimination so far, but unfortunately these 3 stages are just on 1 survivor. Therefore we already have the team cut down to 3 survivors, which greatly reduces the generator pressure they can apply. Not going to deal with this pallet here is very understandable, as well as it's very safe, and once dropped you can only try to mind game around it. Therefore we're going back towards our somewhat 4-gen that we have established here on the right side. We need to make sure though that the shack generator is constantly regressing, because the survivors keeping a good focus onto that. Jason here not too hardly overstepping the 40-yard line, but actually now he's going to be confident that the reset has happened over here and might catch Bubba off guard here, who's just going to be with his team members, and that's going to be a quick smash into the rock, into the down. There's the next survivor around as well, so we know that 1 survivor is not progressing the generators right now, therefore Jason has enough time to just go for the hook.
That was really unfortunate there for Bubba, his reset being found. I think it was really important for Ariandel to reset in this situation, because they really don't want to go down in the kind of 3-4 setup. We see Bubba is on the hook, Rima is being chased, although Jason is not committing, because he is really keeping that pressure up, really trying to go for the best result he can. He is popping that generator there. I think it's pretty much regressed down to nothing now. This is really hard for Ariandel.
Yeah, I would love to hear the voice comms right now in Ariandel's VC. What's the game plan? What's the new strategy? I mean, I like that they keep going for these resets, but Jason just doesn't allow it. We have seen it recently here on this rock group, how he was grabbing Bubba and downing him. Now we see him punishing Bubba and Arima. So every reset they take is already denied a couple of seconds afterwards, and Hardwell is not getting any significant progress into these generators. If there would be a trade at least, and you could say, well, they're doing the reset, then they are wasting some time from Jason because he has to re-injure them, and in the meanwhile they are getting the benefit of getting the generators done. Then I would say, okay, this really makes sense, but unfortunately Hardwell is not able to go for a significant progress here, and therefore we're just going into the next chase here. I would doubt that Arima and Bubba are resetting once again, because at some point they will realize that Jason is just not giving them the necessary freedom for that.
Yeah, Jason really is not. He has found every one of their resets. I mean, I think they wanted to reset pretty fast. They didn't go very far away, but it looks like Arima has just been reset as we see Hardwell being slugged, and it looks like they're trying to get a full reset off, but Jason, with his history of finding the resets, it looks like he is headed in their direction.
Hardwell slugged for the ultimate pressure here, and there we are going to have the next one. That's going to be Arima in the comp corner, just left with 1 rock, will hold W and trying to make some distance, and we are going to make a decision, but we are going back as we see the scratch marks here, and to prevent Bobozavre from catching Hardwell in time, we are going back. I do believe though, actually not going to be too much recovery progress just yet, as we have seen a little bit of crawling there as well. Therefore Hardwell will be thrown onto the hook here. As our killer decides to go a little bit further, I would say that is going to be the next pain res. Indeed, more generator regression coming in, and now slowly but steady, I feel like Jason is making clear Ariandel won't have a chance today.
Yeah, this is just really unfortunate for Ariandel. It looked like we had a pretty good start, but now it's just not looking great. It's really difficult to play in this situation. We have Hardwell on the hook. We see, okay, Arima down by the generator. The last standing survivor, Bobozavre. I don't know if he can make this even. He does make the save, but it's not really much that Hardwell can do in this situation.
An unexpected drop for Ariandel from the tournament for sure. In the first round, they were dropping against Synapse, which was really unexpected, and then they were making a very confident run through the lower bracket, and everyone was saying, well, okay, it seems like the first round of the Winter Circuit didn't work out. Well, we all know that happens. Sometimes things are just not going too well, but then we are going into this match here with Sinners, and it does show that there are very strong teams at the moment, and that the competitive scene cannot be seeded any longer between just two teams as like Elysium and Eternal a couple of months ago. We have a lot of teams you might not have on the radar here. As we are enjoying how Jason is just going to finish it off here, not risking anything, and therefore waiting until Arima is in the second stage. We can already congratulate Ariandel to a great performance though. It was great to watch you. Thank you so much for your participation in the Winter Circuit. And Sinners, congratulations for making just another turn and another step in the lower bracket here, representing the entire community and all our friends from the South American scene. So hyped to see you play, and whenever you are showing up, it seems like you are playing so confident and with so much enthusiasm. We really love that, and we're very hyped to see you in the upcoming week against Night Owls. Then we have a lot of things to go through, and I will just use the death of Arima to start off. First of all, though, I would like to say thank you to Veronica, my wonderful co-caster for today. Veronica, it was very exciting, very fun. Thank you so much for being here tonight.